What's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Tay, and I'm here yet again with another update video. So definitely make sure you guys smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, plus push the post notification bell button so that way anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. So I just want to get the public service announcements out the way. Just a little bit of an update on what's going on in Texas, considering all of these really high bills that have been going on. So it says the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is suing Griddy. I guess that's the name of the service provider, saying the electricity provider passed along massive increases during the winter storms, leaving some customers to face up to $5,000 in power bills. Paxton's lawsuit says Griddy deceived customers when it promised low wholesale energy prices. The state says it's received more than 400 complaints about Griddy in less than 2 weeks. So the only reason why I wanted to give you guys this information is because if you are in Texas and you are, I don't want to say a victim, but if you are experiencing something like this from this company, then it would be a good idea for you to reach out to the Texas Attorney General to see if you can be included into this lawsuit, to see if you can get some type of retribution or resolution for you having an extremely high and unfair and ridiculous utility bill, okay? One lady says that she lives in Houston, and said that Griddy charged her $4,677 to her credit card for 1 week of electricity in an 800 square foot apartment. So that's a pretty small apartment, and they've charged her pretty much $5,000 for electricity. So again, I felt like that information was useful because if you are having an issue with your electricity bill by this company, then you might want to reach out for some help. Okay. Now I wanted to give an update when it comes to the new PPP loan bills. Not PPP loan bills, the PPP rules. So the U.S. Small Business Administration is expected to issue a rule as soon as Monday, which hasn't happened. So I'm assuming they're talking about next Monday because nothing has passed as of this Monday, that will make loans from the Paycheck Protection Program more generous for business owners without employees. So yesterday I did get a question from someone saying that if they get SSI and if they have children, can they, I don't know if they were talking about the PPP or something else, but I'll get to that in a minute. Companies and nonprofits without employees have always been eligible for PPP loans, but while loans to businesses with employees are based on payroll, companies without employees currently receive loans based on net income. So if you are a sole proprietor, that means that if you are driving for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Uber Eats, any of those companies, or you just have a regular side hustle, you're doing hair, you're doing nails, but you are a sole proprietor, you are an independent contractor of some sort, and you can prove it. You would have to have at least a 1040 Schedule C in order to prove this, because that's what they're asking for. Most of these companies to prove that you have received some type of paper trail for your business. Okay, so it can't just be you saying you have a business. You have to establish a paper trail as well. So for those companies in particular, they go based off of your income because you don't have employees, so they can't go off of your payroll. So if you are a sole proprietor, let's say you are an independent contractor, you drive for DoorDash or Uber or whatever, and you claim that you make $1,000 a month, and they're going to put a percentage of that towards your payroll, maybe 60% of that towards your payroll, and say that, okay, you would need to pay yourself $500 a month for payroll. I'm going based off of numbers from a loan that I did for myself, just in case anybody is wondering where I'm getting these numbers from. As a sole proprietor, as an independent contractor, when I applied for the loan, they offered me a small loan, like I said, a small loan below $2,000, and estimated that about 60% of that was what I would need to pay myself. So they're going based off of your adjusted gross income. However, and this is the good part. The new rule expected from the SBA will instead base loans amounts off of sole proprietors' gross income, expanding the amount of money for which they are eligible. So I said that wrong. So they were going based off of your net income. So once your expenses and all of that has been taken out and deducted, then they will go off of that. Now, because of all of the expenses that we can claim on our taxes, especially if you're utilizing your car, there are so many things that you can claim. There's so many new expenses that I just recently found out about when I filed my taxes for this year that left me with actually not having a net income from my independent contractor business. So because of that, if they have the old rules in place, I would not be able to be eligible for alone. However, even with having zero income, they would go with your adjusted gross income. So before your expenses are taken out. So that makes a really big difference. Okay. Sole proprietors that already received loans are not expected to retroactively receive larger ones, nor are they likely to be allowed to return the earlier loans instead and reapply. It's not yet clear whether the new rule will include constraints on how the loans can be spent in order to be eligible for forgiveness. Employers are required to spend at least 60% of the loan on payroll in order for it to be forgiven. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys a timeline. So since February 24th, only businesses with fewer than 20 employees, including those with 0 employees, have been able to apply for loans. That will continue until March 9th. So if you guys haven't already, I suggest that you apply now for these loans, okay? It's been active since February 24th, but it's going to be open till March 9th. So after which all companies eligible under the program rules will once again be able to apply. So they're giving us a 14-day exclusive pass to apply for this loan. And then all of the other businesses, the larger companies, will get in. So you want to get your application at the top of the list if this is something that you're interested in, okay? Companies without employees have been waiting on SBA to issue new eligibility rules. For the SBA to issue the new eligibility rule before applying. So even if that rule comes out on Monday, the 2-week window focused on small businesses will be nearly half over. The final deadline for any business to apply for the PPP loan is March 31st. Okay. So again, you guys, I think that's excellent information. If you are struggling, if you are out there doing Instacart, Uber, any of those, if you have a hair business, if you have not been working, if you have any type of side hustle that you can prove, then I would highly suggest that you apply for a loan. Now, the amount of the loan is definitely going to depend on your personal information and how much they think that you qualify for. But if it were me, I would try to stick with something that you know you're going to be able to pay off. Don't get anything that's going to be too hard for you guys to pay off in the near future. Now, let's talk a little bit about state stimulus. So, Maryland recently gave $300 or should have been giving out $300 and $500 payments under the Bipartisan Relief Act of 2021 to Marylanders who received the Earned Income Tax Credit on their 2019 state tax return. To be eligible for the credit, a single filer with no kids needed to make less than $16,000 in 2019. Okay, so according to this article, this information, your governor, or in Maryland, Governor Larry Hogan, says that he feels that you guys should have gotten more. We should have been sending $2,000 checks out to families with young children, okay? So there's a possibility that you guys could be getting a second state stimulus. It's not clear when or how or if it's actually going to happen, but I think that the fact that this person is making it known that he thinks that that is is necessary and the funds are available in your state, that's something to look into. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye out for information on that as that story unfolds. Okay, now for the Golden State stimulus. So I'm actually on the California what is this? I think the state tax website, FTB, www.f as in foot, T as in Tom, B as in ball, .c as in cat, A as in apple, .gov. I'm giving you guys the name of that website because I want you guys to be able to go on here and look up this information for yourself. But I was doing a little bit more research on the California Golden State stimulus, and I also talked to a CPA yesterday to see what information they had been given in terms of how they're going to distribute the California Golden State stimulus. So let me give you guys this information as it is on the actual state website. California will provide the Golden State status stimulus payment to families and people who qualify. This is a one-time $600 or $1,200 payment. You may receive this payment if you receive the California Earned Income Tax Credit or file with an individual taxpayer identification number. The Golden State stimulus aims to help support low-income Californians, help those facing a hardship due to the pandemic, okay? So to qualify, you must have, one, filed your taxes for 2020, be either a California Earned Income Tax Credit recipient or an ITIN filer who made $75,000 or less total California adjusted gross income, be a California resident on the date payment is issued, be 18 years or older as the last date of the tax year, not be eligible to be claimed as a dependent. Okay. Now, also to qualify for the California Earned Income Tax credit, you must have taxable earned income up to $30,000. So for those of you who are asking, if you have received SSI or anything, if your income is not taxable, it has to be considered taxable earned income up to $30,000. Okay, not married or filing separately. If married, or RDP, I don't know what that means. Live in California for more than half the year and meet all the other requirements. Okay. To make sure you receive your payment, file your 2020 tax return by October 15th, 2021. If you meet these qualifications, you may receive either a one-time payment of $600 or a one-time payment of $1,200. The payment will be by direct deposit or check in the mail per your tax return. So in whichever way that you receive your tax return is how you're going to receive the check. But hold on, because there's more information. Your stimulus amount. So it gives you categories of how you can, or how much money you'll qualify for. So on your tax return, if you are a California Earned Income Tax recipient, you will earn $600. If you are a California Earned Income Tax recipient and you file with ITIN and made less than $75,000 or less total California adjusted gross income, you will earn $1,200. If you are not a California Earned Income Tax credit recipient, but you file with the ITIN number and made $75,000 or less total California adjusted gross income, $600. If you file a joint return and at least one of you files with an ITIN number or made $75,000 or less total California adjusted gross income, $600. If you file a joint return and you are a recipient of the California Earned Income Tax Credit, at least one of you files with an ITIN number and made $75,000 or less total California adjusted gross income, you will earn $1,200. It says typically you will receive this payment using the refund option you selected on your tax return. However, if you received an advanced refund through your tax service provider, you'll receive your payment by check in the mail. We will issue stimulus payments monthly after eligible 2020 tax returns are processed. Direct payments allow up to 45 days. Paper checks allow up to 60 days. Payments are expected to begin in March 2021. The stimulus payment expires on November 15th, 2021. To make sure you receive this payment, file your 2020 tax return by October 15th, 2021. Okay, so it also goes down to give some scenarios. I'm not going to get into that. Scenarios for claiming the Golden State Stimulus. You guys can go check out this website. Again, it's www.ftb.ca.gov. I'm pretty sure they'll have a link on there for the California Golden State Stimulus, and you can get all this information on there. Okay, now, in addition to that, I also found another not a website, but an article that was talking about the stimulus. And on this one, it says Californians who are recipients of SSI/SSP. So it doesn't say anything about SSDI, only SSI and SSP. Californians who are recipients of the Cash Assistance Program for Age, Blind, and Disabled Legal Immigrants Program. Californians who are recipients of the CalWorks Program. California households receiving the California Earned Income Tax Credit. California taxpayers with individual tax identification numbers who were precluded from receiving the $1,200 per federal payments issued last spring and more recent $600 federal payments. So those are the eligibility requirements from this particular article. However, I mean, being realistic, you guys, and I don't want to leave anybody out of this situation, but I would go based off of what's in the actual state website. However, it could just be that with them including terms like low-income Americans, maybe that is referring to those who are CalWorks recipients or SSI recipients. Okay, so I wouldn't completely totally cut it out. I'm gonna do some more research. You guys know I am, just to make sure. But moving along, I wanted to give you guys the updated list of the states that have been approved for March benefits as well as their payout dates. And I'm also going to check right now to see about the states that have currently been approved for pandemic EBT. Where is it? Did I pass it up? Oh, I think it's right here. Okay, so currently for California, no, not for California, for pandemic EBT 2020-2021 school year, we have Arizona, Connecticut, Alaska, Delaware, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, New Mexico, North Carolina, Ohio, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Vermont, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. Now, I am going to do the states that have been approved currently for emergency allotments for the month of March, and this will also include your 15% increase. Now, keep in mind, you guys, that I'm going to be reading them out of order, so you're going to have to watch this part, especially all the way to the end, just to make sure that you don't miss your state, because whenever I get the information, I just write it down. I used to try to keep it all in alphabetical order, but I'm not going to rewrite this every time some more information comes out. So I just fill it in. So it's out of order. It's not in alphabetical order, okay? California, April 18th. Colorado, March 7th through the 12th. D.C., District of Columbia, March 10th and April 3rd. Hawaii, April 12th. Illinois, March 23rd through the 31st. New Jersey, March 1st through the 5th. Iowa, regular issuance dates. Wisconsin, March 20th, and then late and reinstated cases, May 8th. Indiana, March 5th through the 23rd, odd days staggered. Oregon, March 10th, and then March 30th for any new applications that were approved after March 10th. Kansas, April 15th through the 24th. Maine, March 10th. Maryland, all month, depending on your regular issuance date. Montana, March 2nd through the 6th. Rhode Island, March 4th. Vermont, April 15th. Virginia, March 16th. Washington, regular issuance dates. West Virginia, March 4th. And then Wyoming, March 1st through the 5th. So that's it for me today, you guys. I hope that information was in some way useful or helpful to you in some way. Definitely remember to live, love, and elevate. And I will most definitely see you guys in the next video. Peace.